Two was a blast in college football. And man, don't we have something for you for week three? We got that and much, much more here on All Four Downs. Please subscribe now. You don't want to miss it, man.
And welcome to All Four Downs. North Carolina's Devontae Walker is still in limbo. Mel Tucker might be on his way out at Michigan State. We'll tackle those in first down. Texas knocked off Alabama in the upset of the week. Colorado's 2-0 going prime time. The Pac-12 is still rolling. We'll discuss that in second down. Ovi has his rankings for third down and then fourth down this week's picks. And then I'll finish all over Mel Tucker in our final whistle. Ovi Muniz, man, oh man, what another great weekend of college football. Man, obviously Texas, and I know everyone wants to think Texas is the third best team in the country. I'm not sure Alabama was.
Oh man, I don't think Alabama was well deserved to be in the top five the way they played that game.
Yeah.
And I think we got used to watching like the era of Mac Jones, right? Bryce Young, even Tua, when that solid offense that anytime they got the ball, they would just score almost in every possession. But we also got to take into consideration that they got a brand new quarterback, and it's gonna take some time. They don't have the right offensive coaches to make them elite right away. And it pretty much shows that the quarterback has to grow, right? I think it's McEnroe, if I'm not mistaken. So he still got some development to do. I still see Alabama still a threat down the road, but I just don't see Alabama this year making it to the college football playoffs. Not the way I saw that game against Texas.
Yeah, I agree with you very much. And, look, I think Ohio State is another. Look, they're a powerhouse, obviously. But when you go from an NFL caliber quarterback in CJ Stroud to, who's the kid, McCord, listen, this is a tough sport.
It is.
And if your quarterback has not look around the NFL, look at guys like Joe Burrow, you look at Daniel Jones, absolute disasters that they were. And I think in both of those cases, you're talking about there's just not enough reps right now and not enough real reps. Most of these guys don't play any there's no preseason to be had at this point. And right. So you get to week one, you get to week two, you're working out the kinks still. And
I think that's why a lot of colleges, they want to go against, younger schools, small schools, so they could handle that before they hit hard. But the fans don't like that. It's like, why are you doing this? Why not go against head to head and go against the best, so that way we can narrow down the list as to who is going to be legitimately being in the college football playoffs. But listen, we're gonna cover all that and a couple of downs, but when you got these coaches that are put in place so we could go ahead and make these players elite, you can't have all these distractions. Not so much like in Michigan State with Mel Tucker and Brenda Tracy, which that thing just got exploited on the article on USA Today that led Mel Tucker to a suspension.
Yeah, look, this is I'm going to really hit this hard in the final whistle, but he denies the allegations. He's suggesting that this woman, a sexual assault awareness advocate and a survivor of rape herself, is making this all up. He contends, Ovi, that it's because he postponed a presentation of hers. Postponed it like it would be rescheduled. And so in return, he wants us to believe this woman is ruining his life with a false accusation.
That's
Who?
kind of hard to swallow, man. It really is,
Yeah.
especially when, when I further read the article and everything else in detail, that Brenda Tracy has evidence, okay, evidence that Mel Tucker has been trying to get with her, okay,
Mhm.
and with all these phone calls that he personally made to her, he took initiative of always calling her over and over again in a variety of times, and yet, I mean, what else can you say? I mean, when I first read about it and I went through, I said, okay, this is all hearsay. There's no proof. He said it, she said it, but then when you bring on the evidence slowly, it'd be like, look, this is what I have. He's
Do
calling.
you remember when that first woman accused Bill Cosby?
Yeah,
And people
I
were like,
remember.
no way. And then there
Yeah.
was like two more accusers. You're like, okay,
Mhm.
three. Whew. And then it was eight. And then it was 20 something. And then by the end of it, there were 68 different women who had the same exact story about his MO. Now,
Right.
fortunately for Mel Tucker, this is not a serial situation. This is,
Well, we don't know that yet.
well,
We don't know that
fair
because
enough,
watch this.
Obi.
He
Fair enough.
was a coach. He was the head coach of Colorado for one season.
I'll tell you what.
And then all of a sudden he leaves after one season.
Yeah, that is a little
I was a
sus.
little suspect. I mean, first season you 5-7. I got it.
Listen, in the final whistle, I'm actually going to give you the moment where I think this all turned for Mel Tucker.
All right, fair enough. I can't wait. All right, but another story is Devontae Walker from North Carolina. He's supposed to be the wide receiver for the team. He was a transfer for Kent State. NCAA denied waivers for Walker to play the season. All right, to what's like everybody else has been transferred and play immediately.
All right.
So UNC, hold on. UNC trustees held an emergency meeting this week to help and assist Walker to get his eligibility.
All right. A little bit of context here because I really deep dove. I'm like, what is going on with this kid? He initially out of high school was going to play for North Carolina Central. Much smaller school, obviously, than North Carolina. Never took the field. Their 2020 season got canceled. The Eagles were scheduled to play 4 games in spring 2021, 2 against Carolina A&M, 2 against South Carolina State. Those games also got canceled. So the dude never played any games. He transfers to Kent State in 2021, caught 5 catches as in his freshman year, had the big breakout the following year, 58 catches, 921 yards, 11 touchdowns, decides he wants to be closer to home. That and not for nothing, look, he obviously stepped up his game, breakout season. He wanted to be home, comes back to North Carolina. Everyone else, as you point out, has gotten the pass. And for some reason, Devontae Walker, I don't know. This seems interesting. I don't know if you know this. North Carolina State has a receiver named Bradley Rosner. Do you know this name? He
No, I'm not familiar.
caught 2 passes in their game against Notre Dame where they got crushed. Rosner, get this, is an 8th year senior. He started at Cisco College in 2016, 4 years at Rice. Now he's at NC State.
How you do that though?
8 years in, he's still playing football. This kid hasn't played a lickety split of football. What is even happening now? Here's where North Carolina has screwed up. North Carolina has made very threatening overtones. And that has led to death threats from Carolina fans against members of the NCAA committee that are in charge of this. And so I think partially, Ovi, what you have here is North Carolina having shot itself kind of like Plexico Burris did in the leg.
Oh
some
man.
years ago.
Yeah. I
Not
remember
good.
that. It's not
Yeah.
good at all.
Don't shoot yourself in the leg here. I think they have. I think there was a better chance of Walker getting reinstated if North Carolina hadn't been so aggressive, particularly their head coach and their athletic director. The NCAA spoke out about that earlier today, and so this is super unfortunate. And I hope this kid files a lawsuit and takes this to a higher level because right now he's being looked at as maybe like a third or fourth round receiver.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean,
Millions of dollars at
if
stake
North
here,
Carolina
buddy.
got him and accepted his transfer, the football team, and like I said, it's mind-boggling because we know players that go every year to different colleges just to start, and yet you got this guy who is being a transfer and he's not immediately playing, and I'm just wondering what is the secret to get this to make this happen. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, NCAA, you stepping in, but you can't step in on other issues, other major issues, but you want to pick this one. Man, you know how to pick your battles.
What do I
I'm
say all the
telling
time too, Ovi? It's all
you.
about the kids. Okay.
Yeah,
Tell
right.
that to the Walker family.
All right. I got this look. I'm always gonna have this look every week, man. All right. And I'm gonna start off with some games that even though it's exciting for week 2, you just gotta watch out. Okay. First, let's start with Texas and Alabama. Texas, they won 34-24. Yet I know I bet on Bama. But even in the game, even though I put my money on Bama, I was rooting for Texas. Like this son in me was like, yeah, go hit them hard, hit them hard. I mean, Texas should have won last season, and I'm glad that this time around they got the job done. But man, they did it in Alabama. Okay, but that's just one win for Texas for a top-ranked team. But can they do it again? Texas has a habit of beating good teams, getting in position to be ranked, and then the following week they choke. And they're going against Wyoming, which is probably in their favor. But man, I think there was too much celebration. And I got a feeling that they ran out of fuel for this upcoming game. Not saying they're going to lose, but you put yourself in a position to be looked at for the college football playoffs. I'm just saying you better be careful how you rank Texas. For Alabama, they don't deserve. Look, they could be 10, 11, whatever it is, but you have to strongly consider whether or not they're worthy enough to stay in the top 10 to be getting a chance for the college football playoffs. And I hope politics does not play in there. Utah versus Baylor. Look, Baylor lost to Texas State on week 1. Utah, I had you ranked in the low top 25, okay? And I know my boy Jason's listening in, and he was like, how can you disrespect Utah? Well, this is the game. This is why I don't have them ranked in the top 15. Utah, 20-13 against Baylor? Really? And I don't care who's the quarterback. Okay.
Come on.
Rising could go anywhere. If you got a solid team, you could crush Baylor. Okay. And besides, it took y'all in the fourth quarter to finally win the game. Oregon versus Texas Tech. I'm a little concerned here. I said Oregon's the best team in the Pac-12. I don't know. Bo Nix. I mean, you got the numbers, but what's going on? 38-30 against Texas Tech. Are you serious? You got to be the elite. Come on now.
And
don't prove me wrong.
Mind you, Texas Tech turned the ball over a lot in this game to win by 8. Yeah, something's not right.
No. That Bo Nix had the highest rush of 9 carries and 46 yards. Really?
Not good.
Really?
Not good.
So are we having problems with the run game in Oregon? You better get that right, because once y'all start going against your own Pac-12, and this is the last season, you better show up. Here's another one. North Carolina and Appalachian State. Now, Joe, you called it. You went for Appalachian State for the points and everything else. Congratulations. You got this game. But there's a concern here. You went to OT. Now, I know Appalachian State has history of making things happen. I got it. But North Carolina, you got an elite quarterback that's supposed to be a Heisman candidate, 21 for 30 for 208 yards. You might as well cancel that. That's not being a Heisman. I'm sorry. Okay. And you got a guy that rushed over 200 yards, Hampton, and yet the score is 40-34. Maybe we want to fix that defense. How about that, huh?
Not
All
for
right.
nothing. Not for
Go ahead.
nothing. Appalachian State, they represent whenever they play somebody in the FCS, this is what they do.
Absolutely.
So
They just beat themselves in their own conference.
Oh,
But when
yeah.
it comes to like top contenders, man, they know how to bring it.
They show up. It's amazing.
Wisconsin and Washington State. What an upset. What an upset. This is the year that Wisconsin was supposed to do something, right? They got Mordecai from the transfer. They got everything going, and yet they choked, just like the Big Ten. You just devalued what the Big Ten is supposed to be. That's why they had to get USC and UCLA over, because that side of the division is straight up garbage, okay? Washington State, Matt props, because I guess this is the rise of the Pac-12, right? Washington State came, handle business, and they have the right to be ranked. Texas A&M and Miami. Listen, this game was fabulous. I thought it was going to be a low-scoring game, but a tight one. It turned out to be a high-scoring game and still a tight one. This is a game that is full of excitement, almost like Colorado and TCU. But Miami, got to watch out for Miami. No one's talking about Miami. Second season, right, for their head coach, and he got that program turned around like he did with Oregon. Texas A&M, man, I'm just disappointed. I had you in the top 10. You lose 48-33. But Van Dyke, who is from my home state, from Glastonbury, Connecticut, he represented, and man, did he shine. 21 for 30, 374 yards, 5 touchdown passes. Why are we not talking about Van Dyke? I'm sorry. Maybe because we're focused on Colorado. We're focused on USC. We forgot there are other teams out there. Watch out for Miami moving up in the rankings. And for Texas A&M, your season's done, bro. I'm telling you. Ole Miss and Tulane. Don't watch yourself with Ole Miss, because they should have had lost this game against Tulane. Tulane put it on there. I know the score is 37-20, but it was closer than what it looks like. It took them a turnover at the end of the game, a defensive turnover, which has resulted to a touchdown to make it 37-20. Watch out. Ole Miss is suspect. Please don't be on that bandwagon. Second down coming up. Here we go. All right, it's my top 25. Are you ready?
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to your top 25, because there's two teams and 2 games you didn't mention, and one I totally understand. The other, there is a really good team in Oregon, in Corvallis,
Right.
the Beavers. Again, absolutely taking care of business. They look outstanding yet again. Ugalele, I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Beavers. And by the way, the Syracuse Orange absolutely lit up Western Michigan. They pounded Colgate the week before. They're 2-0. They've scored about 120 points and given up 7. I hope they show up in the rankings. Maybe yours tonight. Maybe the real ones next week. I don't know.
I don't know, but I want to say a big shout out to Dennis Carnes and Hector V. Hector V and I, we got a show right after this for our NFL picks. And man, it was a wild week 1. But big shout out. Did you see me in the Sun of Texas? What's that, BS Bama game? Is that a bullshit? I think he meant to say Texas versus Bama.
Yes, he did.
Hey, I know what BS stands for. All right. But I missed you, bro. I'm going to have to replay that game. Also, Hector Vasquez was talking about tough loss, especially for Baylor, man. Baylor's defense shut them down, but they still couldn't come up with the victory. Also, he says rising makes a huge difference, Ovi. Well,
thank you, Dennis. You're so right. I can't even believe the ridiculous comments coming out of your buddy.
Oh, come on. You know I'm speaking the truth here. All right. But hey, let's fast forward. Here we go. My top 25. We'll start off with Oregon State, Utah, Washington, Clemson, Cincinnati, 21-25. Yes, I booted Clemson out last week. This week, they're back on. I think they got the total package. But hey, you know, there's still plenty of season. But there are a lot of new teams. This is a tight race between 21-40 in my book. but I stick with this right here. Moving on to 16-20, Duke, Colorado, Auburn, North Carolina, Washington State. I like Duke. I think Duke is going to put it on. I can't wait till they face North Carolina later in the season. Washington State, first time in my top 25. I like them. And no one's talking about Auburn, but Auburn's quietly winning just as they should do, right? We only talk about Auburn, especially in the last game of the season when they face Alabama. Yeah. Moving on to 11-15. Alabama drops 9. It's the biggest drop I have in my top 25. LSU goes down 1, even though they won. Penn State, congratulations. The APs and the coaches, yeah, go ahead, rank them in the top 10. They still ain't going to handle Michigan, and they barely could beat Ohio State, and no matter what state they're in. Tennessee and Ole Miss, okay, they're duly ranking there. Are you ready? Here we go, because it's going to be interesting here. 6-10. Texas, Ohio State, Miami, Oklahoma, USC. I'm not ready to put Texas in the top 4, not even in the top 5.
I like it.
Because they need to prove to me that they can handle that. Ohio State stays the same. Miami is the biggest jump all the way up. I think they're looking good, man. I'm telling you, I can't wait till I see them perform within their own conference. And Oklahoma and USC for the first time that I have them in the top 10. And my top 5, Georgia, Florida State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon. Yeah, go ahead. Beat me up. Tell me what it is. Why is Michigan not number 2? Well, Florida State has played better teams, right? They beat LSU. That's good enough, right? Michigan's handling their business, and it's a tight race. I still think Notre Dame is the team, and I'll be on the bandwagon until they get their first loss. I don't care. But I still think Notre Dame is the total package. And, of course, my Georgia Bulldogs, still number 1, still repping. They still covering the spread. They're probably number 1 in the power rankings. They deserve it. They're the 2-time champions. Knock them out. That's all they got to do is knock them out.
Answer me this.
Go ahead.
Oregon at number 5.
They didn't move. They stayed the same at number 5. They were number 5 last week.
Skated by Texas Tech.
Yeah, I know. But my formula says they still in number 5. You got to give them respect. Number 5.
It's the second best team in Oregon, as I've already stated. I don't know. I'm saying
Georgia won until they come to Auburn, and then they get their first loss. Man, listen, I know you're an Auburn fan over there for college football. But them War Eagles are going to land and not fly no more. I'm just telling you that right now.
I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting when Georgia starts playing a real schedule.
Mm-hmm.
If they can put up points like they've been doing in the SEC, that would be impressive, because again,
the only difference really is the quarterback. They got Beck as a starting quarterback. Everybody else is still there. I mean,
that's a big deal.
Talent is still there. This is like the Alabama of the last decade.
Oh,
this
absolutely.
Is the Georgia right now. That's
absolutely.
How good the talent is. The only thing that we got to watch out for is speed. Really, because when they leave the field, they always get in trouble.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the quarterback.
Okay.
I said, look, when I look at Ohio State, look at some of these other places, it's easy to assume these big programs can just pop a quarterback in and win 13, 14 games. I don't know that it's as easy as they make it look. That's why I'm a little skeptical. Once we get into the SEC, let's see what Beck does against real competition. If they can continue to score, then yeah, I mean, it seems highly, if they've got the quarterback situation figured out in Georgia,
I think they do.
If Beck is even 3/4 the quarterback that Bennett was, I think
you're talking about Beck who played when they had to sit down Stetson Bennett because the league was so big, and yet the team still played solid like he was a starter. So I trust in Beck for now. I do. All right, time for third down, and this is our picks. It's the college football betting, so let's get it on. You ready?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, and I'm ready too, man. I love it. I'm going to start with the first game. The green check marks, I already picked them to win. You might say it's pretty obvious, but on this one, it's going to be a close one. Kansas State versus Missouri. AP polls got to rank number 15. Gotcha. But listen, Kansas State has won 2 in a row, and the last 2 games they've blown out Missouri. I don't see this could be any different. If anything, if it's going to be close, it's Kansas State winning by a touchdown. 7 points I'm giving Kansas State.
You might as well have put 2 check marks next to Kansas State's name.
Fair enough. I love it. I love it when you agree with me. I taught you well. How about this one?
Yeah.
Georgia versus South Carolina. Georgia's 3-game winning streak. They're favored 27.5. I believe it. I just don't trust South Carolina. Okay. I'm looking at their past performance and everything else. I still feel, and this is the reason, Rattler. I don't trust Rattler. Yes, he got transferred from Oklahoma, but there's a reason why he got benched in Oklahoma.
Yep.
I think South Carolina benched this guy. If they bench him, then I tell you what, those 27.5 points will be too big for Georgia, but I'm taking the 27.5.
I'm going to say South Carolina.
Yeah, you will. Of course.
I'm going to say South Carolina. I think
for the win?
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right.
No, I think at some point they may be down by 30. I think they may close it to like 25 before the game is out. And I think I think with the spread, I'm going to take Carolina.
All right. Okay. Minnesota versus North Carolina. This is the first time they meet in NCAA history. And I mean this in college football only. 7.5 favorite in North Carolina. I'm taking the points, and I'm taking North Carolina. Simply known that Minnesota's offense is shady at times. I can't trust them. They got a great defense, but Minnesota's offense at times, they make a lot of mistakes, a lot of penalties, especially that offensive line, and they don't have a great run game. That's why I'm taking the Tar Heels.
I'm going to take Minnesota. I think Carolina actually wins the game. I think they win it late with a field goal, but they don't cover.
Okay, I like that. Western Kentucky versus Ohio State. Oh, man. First time they play, it's going to be at Ohio State, of course. Of course. Green checkmark will be Ohio State is going to win. And they might move down if they don't cover. And I'm taking Western Kentucky for 28 points. I just don't trust Ohio State.
I think Ohio State will cover. I think they'll win by about 30.
You do know that they play Youngstown State University, and they won 35-7.
Yeah.
They play Indiana, and they won 23-3. Western Kentucky is a whole lot better than Youngstown State. I'm just telling you out there.
I think
they couldn't cover the last 2 games. I don't see Ohio State covering this game.
I think they cover this game. I think they go off for like 60 points.
Okay. Washington versus Michigan State with a
I'm taking Washington.
I couldn't even finish because I know you covered it in 4th down. Without Mel, I'm taking Washington. And I'm taking the 16 points. I think they're just going to blow them away in their first loss. And besides, Washington has done it the last 3 times, so they'll do it again. Tennessee versus Florida. This is going to be a great game. This is a SEC rivalry between these two, second to Georgia and Florida. But this one here, I'm picking the upset. I'm taking Florida and the points. I think they get the job done. Tennessee, they got lucky last year. They had an elite quarterback. Okay, this time they got Milton III, and if I'm not mistaken, Milton III used to be in Michigan, right?
Yep.
Right. No, this is not Hook from last year. And even that game was a close. I'm taking Florida for the upset.
I'm also going to take Florida in the upset.
Ooh, thank you very much. I feel so happy when you agree
I don't trust Tennessee either. I definitely don't.
BYU versus Arkansas. As you can see, I picked all the games at undefeated teams at this point. But they're going to be at Arkansas. Arkansas is favored by 8 points. I'm taking the points. They'll go give BYU their first loss.
I agree. I'll take it.
Wyoming versus Texas. Like I told you, yeah, they beat Alabama. Whoopee! Yeah, congratulations. But is that victory going to be a hangover for Texas? Texas wins, but I'm taking the 28 and a half, and I'm going to go for Wyoming.
Wow. I'm going to take Texas. I think Texas covers this. I think next game is a game that they may not win.
Duly noted. I'll make sure I add that to one of my picks for next week.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. Bowling Green versus Michigan. Do you think Michigan will cover 40 and a half?
No.
If Bowling Green scores a touchdown, I don't think so. But I'm a gamble because I'm a gambling man. I'll take under 53. Under 53 and a half.
Yeah, I see this game being like a 42-3 kind of game.
I get you. I get you. Hold on for a second. Then it says, if Ewert can't get it done, Manny is on the bench ready. Gave him a great motivational pep talk at the Bama game. Okay, so you're referring back to Texas. Duly noted. I'm not discrediting anything on the quarterback. It's just the team itself. You know, sometimes they a little bit slow after a big game like that. But sticking to Michigan and Bowling Green, I'm taking Michigan for the win. But again, if Bowling Green starts scoring points, then I don't think Michigan will cover. I'm staying safe under 53 and a half.
Yeah, I'm going to go under. I think Michigan and under.
All right. Last game, the 10th game here. Florida State versus Boston College. I'm taking the 26 points. Yay. Florida State will expose Boston College, put them down. Fly Eagles. No, they're not flying anymore. Yeah, Seminoles all the way.
That offense is good enough. They'll cover 26.
Absolutely. And that really pretty much wraps up our picks for this week. How you like that?
I feel good.
I feel good. Okay, I can't sing right now, but all right, here we go. It is fourth down, the last down before we end our segment. And once again, Joe Aguirre, he got something he needs to express himself, get it off his chest. All right. And so here we go. This is all you, my friend. Take it away.
Thank you, OV. In November 2021, Mel Tucker agreed to a 10-year, $95 million contract from Michigan State, and it was well-earned, life-changing money. August of 2021, Tucker hired Brenda Tracy, a sexual assault awareness speaker and a survivor herself, to come speak to the team. By spring of 2022, Tucker made Tracy an honorary spring captain. A friendship blossomed. And according to Tracy, that's all it was, a friendship. But Tucker was interested in her romantically. And Tucker says Tracy encouraged him by inviting and accepting his gifts. He claims their relationship was consensual, and he claims she didn't object to him masturbating during a phone call, which she reported right after it happened. Coach Tucker is scared for his job, rightly so, and he's willing to trash a rape survivor. Tucker called the upcoming hearing a sham. He said he won't be able to present evidence of his innocence. I don't believe there is any. Fact is, Michigan State already conducted their investigation and because of that, suspended Tucker. They came to that conclusion based on evidence. What a shame that Mel Tucker got paid and forgot who he was and turned into a monster, or maybe he's always been that way. If everything I read is true, it's criminal to let this man around young people. Just another reason these college coaches are failing the kids. It's the reason why I'm down on Deion Sanders these days. Teach them well and let them lead the way. You need to be a good man to lead good young men. Thank you for watching this show. I'm Joe Aguirre. For Ovi Muniz, we'll see you next week for all 4 downs.